Well, good afternoon, folks. What I did in Dutch, I'm going to do in English as well. A while ago I started reading the Bible in Dutch, and a friend of mine, thanks for that, he reminded me of that you better split the languages. I mean, some of my videos are bilingual, and it's not always handy. And so based on his advice, I'm doing a split in English and in Dutch and maybe in other languages. My French, I can read French, but doing things in French will be hard. German, okay, that will be possible, feasible, but other language might be hard. So maybe I want some help with this from Bible-believing Christians who speak multiple languages. So if you are in Holland and live close by Delft and you feel called to do this in a language which I have a bit more problems with, you're invited to read out the Bible in, for example, French or whatever, Chinese or Indonesian. I got several Bibles here in different languages. So, but we have to reach people, folks. So, and if you can help, you're welcome. But I'm making a start in English, and I'm going to read from the King James version. I've got another English Bible as well here, so maybe I switch in between. But I heard that the best translation of the English Bible is the King James version. It's most accurate. As well as in the Netherlands, the Dutch Statenvertaling is the best translation. They come from about 1600 something. Oh, maybe it says here. Translated in... No, it doesn't say. Well, the King James is the best English translation I heard. Okay, I'm starting with Genesis. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I noticed that I made some mistakes in the Dutch reading of the Bible in the beginning. I made a little mistake, so I'm going to fetch that or fix it right here in this reading. Okay. Well, what the Bible says somewhere, I think it was in Isaiah, that he says, well, I will tell everything in advance before I'm going to do it. And well, the first chapter of Genesis is actually a prediction about what is God was going to do from that point on. So actually the Genesis 1 chapter is historical. I believe that God in 6 days created the world, literally 6 days. And whether that was 24 hours or 25 or 26 hours, okay, I leave it in the middle. But around 24 hours. So I believe that. And there are evidences, scientific evidences that the world is indeed about 6,000 years old, as the Bible states. And yeah, that means that it is very possible that God created the world and everything, the whole universe in 6 days, Earth days. Dr. Russell Humphreys has got a nice theory about it, making use of the theory of Einstein, the general theory of relativity. Also, there are some other modern scientific theories which might support that. Entanglement, quantum mechanics, and so on and so on. So there are multiple theories, Casimir effect, and what else? So some other things also from that area, which might support indeed the whole creation thing, if you based on what we know now, scientifically, correct scientifically. Not everything is correct science, unfortunately. Okay, we start in Genesis. Well, actually, the name of the first book of Moses is not Genesis, but that's the European name of it. It's actually the first book of Moses is called Bereshiet, because in Hebrew every chapter in the Old Testament started with the name of the first word. Well, in the Hebrew it says Bereshit bara Elohim ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. So the first name of the real Hebrew book is Bereshit. And Bereshit means in the beginning, and bara means create. Not separate, not divide, as some people in Holland think. There's a different word for dividing. And that's waya vedel, bein and uvein. So so I'm going to mention that as well. Okay, we're going to start. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Like I mentioned, created, not He made it, created it. Out of nothing, He fixed it. He made it. He didn't separate, like I mentioned a moment ago. Because language-wise spoken, creating is bara, and dividing is waya vedel, bein, between this, and uvein, between that, to separate this from that. And that's language-wise spoken, it's separating. And here it says in Hebrew, you can look it up yourself, create, bara. Yeah. Okay, and you can check this in the whole Old Testament. Bara is always used for making, creating, from nothing, creating. Okay, and in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was laying upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And the evening and the morning. And evening came, and the morning came, and there was the first day. Okay, this is the first day that arrived. God created the heaven and the earth. Now, in the beginning, God created also time. In the beginning, time, created heaven, space, and the earth. Oh, okay. God also created light. He said, "Let there be light." From here you see that God speaks things into existence. God just has to speak and it is, instantaneously. And or He says, "Well, I will do this and that, so it might happen in the future." But if God speaks, it will happen. His word is a word of authority. Yeah? If He speaks, it will happen. What God did the first day is creating light, but also separating light from darkness. Well, this happened factual, really, it really happened, but it also has got a symbolic meaning. God showed that in the first period of the creation of, or actually from the history, He will make good and, or no, not make bad, but He will separate. He will create the good, the light. Yeah? And the light represents the good, and the darkness represents evil. Yeah? And there will be evil, and He didn't want that, but He created light. And He separates the light from the darkness. That happened in the. We will see that in one of these next chapters, where Adam and Eve are about to sin, or make a sin, and he's separating